with 5 days to go until he becomes president, how would you assess the mood of your nation?
Well, I would say that, Donald Trump supporters, and that is a percentage of the electorate, though hardly a majority, is very pleased. There have been stories already about congressmen who have been getting deluged with calls from constituents, mostly in states where, it was a mix of Republicans and Democrats. They were sort of swing states. So people are very concerned about the future of this country because we're dealing with someone who's inexperienced and who has a very casual relationship with the truth. When he just said right in that interview with Michael Gove that he was predicting that Brexit would pass, this man did not know less than 10 days before the Brexit vote what it was. That's
okay, well, I've heard this, and let me just interrupt you. I interviewed Donald Trump twice during the campaign, right? And on both occasions, I talked to him specifically about Brexit, and on both occasions, he knew exactly what it was, and he also predicted that we would come out. So when I hear guys like you say that as a fact, after you've just called Donald Trump economical with the truth, I say back to you, that is a complete lie, because I did it myself.
I'm telling you that it's not a lie because it's on the record, and you can have your own version of what you believe, Mr. Morgan, but your credibility...
It was in 2 interviews that we aired on this programme. It's not a version.
I can't pull up the tape now, but I'm telling you that is on the record, what I quoted you. So, Donald Trump has an alternate reality, and you have yours.
Well, no, you just said Donald Trump's a liar, and I completely concur. He can be an embellisher, an exaggerator, and all the rest of it. But when I hear guys like you who are the, let's face it, New York liberal media elite, wait a minute. We've had your say. When I hear you say he's a liar, and then I hear you say he didn't know what Brexit was until 10 days before the election, and I know I interviewed him twice in which he did, I say back to you guys, be careful who you call liars.
Okay, tell me this one. He landed in Scotland the day after the vote and said everybody here was going crazy with happiness, and Scotland obviously voted to remain. So what does that tell you about his sense of what's going on and his awareness of the world? This person is contradicted by his own cabinet appointees. People who testified last week at their confirmation hearings who spoke very much in favor of the idea of NATO, his Secretary of Defense and his Secretary of State nominees both. What do you say to that about his credibility?
What I say to that is what Donald Trump said, which is that he said he's very happy. He's very happy for his... Well, hang on, do you want me to answer the question or not? He said he's very happy for members of his cabinet to express their own opinions. I found that quite a refreshing change, actually, from this kind of collegiate, we've all got to say the same thing like robots approach.
No, what it shows is a person who has no coherent vision and no consistency is what it shows.
OK.
Mark, can I just interrupt,
Sure.
because I wouldn't mind asking a question as well. And the question is, you did a very critical profile of Donald Trump. What was his reaction when you did that? Because we were talking, Piers and I were discussing yesterday on Twitter the fact that when you go after him, he comes back at you, doesn't he? He's not somebody who takes criticism lightly, and he is about to get... I mean, he's been subject to a huge amount of criticism in the run-up, but as president, it's going to be coming thick and fast. What is it like when you criticise him?
He's a child.
The idea of this guy who spent a few hours with Trump for some profile, spent more time with Trump than me. I've spent hundreds of hours in the company.
I spent hundreds of hours, too.
Yeah, OK, but I don't think you've got any idea how much time I've spent with Donald Trump in the last 10 years.
You sound like Trump yourself. Everything's bigger, right?
You know what? There's nothing wrong with ambition. Nothing wrong with having a big view. Nothing wrong with being confident. There are many traits to Trump which I do like. There are other traits I don't like. I wouldn't personally have voted for Donald Trump because I'm not a Republican. But when I hear guys like you say in national television interviews like this, he didn't know what Brexit was 10 days before the election, when I myself have interviewed him twice, months and months before, and he obviously knew what it was, I simply say to you guys, isn't it time you yourselves stuck to a more accurate pitch than just spraying these smears around.
It's nonsense, and you know it. The American press is not going to knuckle under. You're a toady. Good luck.
Wow. Mark Singer with that zinger. Thanks very much
Mark
indeed.
Zinger. Mark Zinger from New York. See, this is my issue, though, with those guys, is that they just hate him so much that they're prepared to just come out with all this baloney. Because, I mean, we all heard the interview he gave me, and he talked openly about Britain, you know, leaving the EU. It wasn't something that was a surprise to Donald Trump. So these guys, I think, have got to work out a way of working with him. Now he's going to be president. He's the most powerful guy in their country. And, you know, yeah, we can all be called toadies. Of course, I like it, because he'd be the kind of guy who's like, someone Trump is, he's a name caller, says the bloke who just called me a toady.